and the defending champion, the #1 seed, world #1 from Serbia, Novak Djokovic.
Has yet to beat a top 5 player. He's at 8 goes. It's going to be fascinating to see how this evening shakes out. Delighted to welcome Colin Fleming, who's courtside. Colin, what's the atmosphere like down there? How hot is it? How cold is it? Any wind?
Hey guys, yeah, great to be down here courtside. I have to say it is noticeably cooler. Came out here without a jumper on and quickly had to rectify that situation. There's a little breeze. I'm sounding like a bit of a softie here. Obviously being from Scotland, I should be able to deal with 19 degrees, shouldn't I? But no, it's cooler than it was this afternoon, noticeably. So I'll maybe just slow things down slightly. But it's set fair, not too windy, not too breezy. I think these guys should be timing the ball nicely.
First set.
We'll be checking in with Colin on a regular basis. Brad Steins alongside me. Rob Koenig. We've got Djokovic v Fritz. Spot in the 4th round up for grabs. Oh, speaking of aggressive returning.
Sending an early message.
Love 15.
Red, white, and blue. It's a shot he practiced a lot in the warm-up. One backhand cross-court, and then he was pumping the next one down the line. Taking a page out of Novak's book.
Fifteen, 13.
Well. What do we have here? This would be the perfect start for the American. It's one of his favorite serves under pressure.
Yes.
Had a little extra hop on it. Got up away from Taylor there.
amazing how many players approach cross-court with that forehand.
Game. Djokovic.
Good position.
First game.
It's really only one place this should be going.
And Novak was sitting on that ball as well.
Yeah, disappointing ending to that game for Fritz, but I got to say it's a good start. Really trying to take the game to Djokovic, and he looks pretty relaxed, doesn't he? Even when he walked out onto the court, kind of little wave to the camera, and he's not overawed, certainly in these early stages.
And the win predictor is Djokovic.
Taylor Fritz to serve.
90%. Just an outside chance for the American. So there's a famous line in the movie, so you're telling me there's still a chance?
Love 50.
There is.
You remember it?
That's why they play the matches.
Yeah.
Robbie, I'm not sure the guy that said that had much success, though, did he?
Yeah, because Jim Carrey, Dumb and Dumber. One of those famous lines. You'll never forget. One of my favorite movies. It was hilarious. Oh, he's knocked the fluff off that forehand.
We'll see Taylor consistently
15.
here. He won't be afraid to go backhand to backhand with Novak.
Given the size of this forehand, he won't be scared to trade blows with him in that department either. Vintage Djokovic right there.
We've got some shot making happening here early.
15-13.
That's such a good shot from Djokovic, isn't it? Recognizing Fritz wants to lean to his left, use the forehand as much as possible, just establishing the doubt early on, down the line.
There was a guy from Scotland as well.
13.
He had a pretty good backhand down the line. Hope he's doing well wherever he is at the moment.
Yeah, he just picked up another challenger win overnight, playing in Italy this week and moving very well, I have to say, which is encouraging.
Yeah, send our best to Andy Murray. Yeah, Andy would have loved to have been here, but of course got COVID just before he was due to travel out on one of the charters. I really like that serve. That's a good hold. And of course, Colin, you were telling us that Fritz was talking himself up before this match, especially in that department.
Yeah, I read some quotes from Taylor pre-match saying, you know, he really feels he can elevate his serving in particular to a level where he won't get broken, which is that's a big call when you're facing someone like Djokovic. But he also felt like, you know, he could be aggressive from the baseline, really take it to his opponents. And to be fair, he's walking the walk so far. Just a couple of games in, mind you.
Cross-court approach from Novak that time, Rob. Great location there on that serve. Taylor is a guy with some supreme confidence. He's very Guy with a lot of self-belief, feels he can play with all the top guys.
Doesn't come across as arrogant, though.
40-15.
Not my suggestion.
No.
Just a guy that has a lot of confidence in his ability. He's done a lot of winning through his junior and the early portion of his pro career, and feels very confident in himself.
Yep.
Confident in his strokes, his mechanics.
Djokovic.
Yeah, nothing wrong with it. You have to believe if you want to achieve. Good hold by Novak. 2-1. Someone who had an immense amount of belief from a young age was this guy too. 2007, Miami, I remember him bursting on the scene there, but it really was Canada where I think he shook the tennis world at Djokovic, beating the top 3 players to win his second Masters 1000. Heck of an effort to beat Andy Roddick at the time, Rafa, and then Roger in a 3rd set tiebreaker.
He'll get everyone's attention, beating those 3 guys in succession.
Time.
It's impressive to beat any one of them, much less all 3 of them.
DJ's definitely upped his game this evening. He knows nighttime tennis is where it's at. Breaking out some B52s. We had some talking heads yesterday evening. Hopefully more of the same. 1-2. Absolutely love this guy's serve. Technically, I think it's so sound. The simplicity of it. Something else that really attracts me to it.
Yeah, I agree, guys. I think technically Fritz, yeah, he looks very good. He's got a big serve, sound technique, can go for the forehand, solid backhand. So there's no big holes technically. I've got to say, sitting down here courtside, as you see a slightly longer rally, he looks in peak physical condition as well. Clearly worked hard on that area of his game. It's been a bit of a weakness, I think it's probably fair to say, hasn't it, in the early stage of his career, the movement, push wide into the corners, and you know, that'll be really tested tonight against Djokovic.
Yeah, you want to be one of the top players in the sport. It's imperative you move well.
Let's
have a look at the serve. I love the way he leads with the left hand. The left foot is parallel to the baseline. Great knee bend. Watch how his head stays up.
He really uses the full length of his long, lanky body through that serve. Interesting point development there. Novak going to the slice.
Yeah, just a bit of breeze in that point, Brad, from Djokovic's end down towards Fritz. So Djokovic just keeping control on the ball.
Break point. Titus is so good. Very rarely
Djokovic
overplays
leads 3
on the
games to
big
1.
points.
It's just a sign of confidence in himself. He doesn't feel like he has to do that much more. He's willing to play one more shot if he has to. The margin there. Great ball, damaging ball, but well inside the line. I'll be interested to see if that point where he went to the slice 3 times in a row was more of a one-off, or if that's a little bit of a tactic that he wants to play against Taylor. Taylor's a guy that likes to feed off of pace, rhythm.
He's
done a lot of work back in LA with a guy you'll know well, Robbie, David Nankin.
Yes.
Works for the USTA.
He's got him.
Good moving there. Novak testing out the legs a little bit, maybe. Taylor coming off of a tough 5-set match 2 days ago against his compatriot and the best man in his wedding, Riley Opelka.
Wow. Yeah, there were a couple of Americans in that top section of the draw. Fritz and Opelka. We had Francis Tiafoe, who lost to Novak in the previous round. Good contest that was. Very good. Perhaps a sign of things to come for Francis in 2021. Wayne Ferreira working with Francis Tiafoe. We've got David Nankin. A couple of years under his belt with Taylor Fritz.
Taylor's also done some work and continues to do some work with Paul Annacone.
Yep. So good at keeping you off balance. He has settled into this one very nicely. Goran's happy.
Leads by 4 games to 1.
So we should be 4-1. You speak about levels of confidence. Can you even begin to fathom what it must be like for someone like Novak Djokovic or Federer or Nadal to step out on a match court when you win as much as they do, Brad? I mean, you were on Courier, who won a lot. These guys, it's just, it's the next level. It's 5 times as many majors for some of them.
Yeah, as good as Jim was, and we went through periods where there was, Jim went through a period where he won 4 titles back to back to back to back, including the French Open. And I remember telling him at one point that he was playing so well that I really didn't have a lot to tell him from a coaching standpoint. And you carry that over to the degree that these guys enjoy winning. And it's an astounding thing, and it's a pleasure to be able to watch.
It certainly is. Flying high. What they are doing, those kind of players, as we make our way into Rod Laver Arena. Taylor Fritz playing catch-up early on here, down 1-4.
Nicely done by Fritz coming forward. That's a improved area of his game. The volley. Still an area I think he can make a lot more improvement in. Given the power that he has from the back and the ability to spread the court out and open court up, it would be great to see him be able to attack, come forward, and finish more at the net.
Please.
Rip at the backhand right there.
Yeah, that was a rocket, Brad.
Yeah, absolute power just penetrating through the court. It's not often that you see Novak not able to catch up with a ball that actually passes through the baseline.
There's a good atmosphere down there, I have to say. Plenty of support for Taylor Fritz as well. One or two gentlemen maybe been overhydrating throughout this sunny day, but they're having a good time.
Very important to always stay hydrated, Colin. That was important, just to keep it to that one breaker serve. They'll still harbour ambitions of getting back into this one. Comes from a tennis family, does Taylor. Of course, his mum, Kathy May, top 10 player. His dad, Guy Fritz, also played some pro tennis. He's a standout junior. Contested a couple of junior major finals against your boy, Tommy Paul, I notice.
Yeah, they played twice in Grand Slam finals.
2015 was the year.
Split them between the two of them, Tommy winning the French and Taylor taking the US Open. Riley Opelka that year also won Junior Wimbledon. American junior tennis was looking pretty good at that point. And we've seen all those guys translate that to success already at the pro level.
15-13.
He's been really aggressive out here, Fritz, and he's got so many weapons in his game, doesn't he? The big serve, he can hit big forehand and backhand, he's attacking the second serves. This is all-action tennis.
Got a half chance here. Great hustle from Taylor.
I think he's broken his lace here, Robbie. He's just asking umpire John Blom what he can do about it. He's going to try and fix it in the middle of the court.
The shoelace breaking seems to become it has become a common theme amongst these guys as they slide on the hard courts more and more. I know Tommy has that issue on a regular basis. People complaining, but he could actually have asked, and he would have gotten an equipment timeout there.
That's right.
If there's a problem with your equipment, you can you can take a break to deal with it.
Please.
Wasn't doing anything wrong there really. Probably just the fact that he was doing it in the middle of the court.
The upshot of all of that is 2 break points for the American. Another bite at the cherry.
Bad luck there. That serve was good, but kind of in the wheelhouse right there for Taylor Fritz on the backhand side. Novak's so good, so competent at fighting his way out of these types of situations. Zero sense of panic.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please. Players are waiting for you. Thank you for your cooperation. Game Djokovic. Djokovic leads 5-2. New balls, please.
Well, that's a good game to get out of. He's done well there. Maintains his 1 break lead. John Blom's going to have his hands full. You can see that Novak is looking a little irritated by what's going on behind him.
Got a bit of a U.S. Open night match atmosphere going on here after the incident we had last night with Rafael.
Yeah, there's definitely a couple of guys in here that are, I think, just trying to get under Novak's skin. He's going to have to keep his calm. Shouting for Fritz pretty noticeably, but you know, it feels like it's in a way that it could be trying to rile the world number 1.
There's nothing I can do. Like, even if I change laces, it'll probably happen again.
Taylor looking like he's got a bit of a DIY issue going on.
I've got 2 other laces. This is already another second lace, but like, I know.
Looks like he had a previous issue with that lace to me, and he had a knot in one position, and now he can't get it back through the eyelid.
Brad Gilbert won't be happy, guys. Winning ugly, didn't he always say? Spare laces in the bag.
I've got spare laces in my bag just for Tommy, because he has this issue. He has this issue on a very consistent basis. It's the sliding. This happened when Taylor was coming in for that one drop shot. He came in hard and slid, drags the foot, and just snaps the lace.
Well, 7 games into this one. We've had a fair bit going on. The crowd has been pretty vocal. A breaker serve for Djokovic. Previous game, Fritz with a couple of points to break back. Wasn't able to do so. Does have new balls in his hand.
Couple of quick, easy points for Fritz. He'll take those.
Game Fritz. Djokovic leads 5-3.
Quick game there for Taylor Fritz.
Djokovic got a chance to put the set to bed, though.
Well done. Crowds have been slightly unruly here at the Australian Open. The other night, Kyrgios Humbert, the crowds were applauding missed first serves, double faults. Last night with Rafa, we had an incident where somebody basically wouldn't let the match go on and play. Crowd's a little bit into the match here. We're happy to have him back, that's for sure.
Sure. Yeah, I don't mind the rowdy bit, as long as they're not abusing the players.
Let's go.
Taylor hanging tough in this game. A little bit of pressure here.
Going to be a real test of Djokovic's patience.
We've seen him historically get irritated with the crowds when he feels that they're kind of rooting against him a little bit or not supporting him as much as he feels that
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Players are ready. Thank you.
deserves or expects.
Please.
Fritz has had 3 break points already. Hasn't been able to convert. This is number 4. Taylor Fritz is right back in this opening set.
Djokovic leads 5 games to 4.
But it's still 5-4 to Novak.
Well, I'm not sure if it was the forehand or the mentality on that point. You can see him screaming at his box here. Djokovic, he's rattled. I'm with you, Robbie. This crowd are they're doing their best to pull for Fritz, shall we say, and of course there's a bigger picture here with the whole build-up to this Australian summer of tennis and Djokovic in his leadership role, you know, quite public throughout the quarantine period, and I think there's definitely a section of this crowd pulling against him, I would say, and he's going to have to deal with that, stay calm. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it definitely seems like there's a bit of support for Taylor Fritz, but also a bit of anti-Novak sentiment from the crowd. He's really going strong at his box right there.
Emotions running high here on Rod Laver Arena. Djokovic with the early break, but it's Taylor Fritz who has broken back in the nick of time to keep his hopes alive here in set number 1.
Thank you. Players are ready. Thank you.
Still got some work to do for 5.
$15 love.
That's another missed return there, Brad.
40 love.
This is a very, not something you see a lot.
Yeah, return serves from Djokovic. What's that number there?
We're at 46%, almost 50% of missed returns from Novak. It's pretty shocking based on what we all tend to call the best returner in the history of the game.
Yeah, I mean, Fritz has been serving well on occasions. First serve is deadly. I love that return from Djokovic.
Smart adjustment there.
40-30.
Go to the block, struggling a little bit to put some balls in play. Make an adjustment, make your opponent have to play. Can't make him play off of that.
That's Cam Fritz, there's Tommy Paul, front left in the white hat.
5 games in.
Supporting his buddy. And such a simple service action. Great knee bend. The pronation is absolutely perfect.
Stays in great alignment there as well. Interesting, you saw up in front of Tommy Paul, there's J.Y. Abone, who's here with Taylor. Normally travels with and works with Riley Opelka, and was here with Riley as well.
And what's his role, Brad?
Due to the quarantine requirements,
Love
David Nankin didn't come for the USTA. Paul Anacone had some other things, and so Taylor asked JY, who normally travels, is the traveling coach for Riley Opelka, if he would help him out here in Australia. So they did their quarantine training together as cohort partners, practice partners.
This is a real wobble.
I just wonder if the root of the frustrations, well, we mentioned the crowd, but not happy with the serve. Another glance up at the box there.
Forehand as well, Colin. That has been leaking all kinds of errors.
Yeah, he's at 9 unforced errors already for the forehand, and we've seen there's been some bad ones. Taylor a bit passive on that swing.
15-30.
Yeah, one of the first balls where his feet stopped, didn't get up to it, didn't really try and do anything with it. He's been so proactive tonight.
Could be a plot point in the outcome of the set. Let's put an asterisk next to that one. Gilt-edged opportunity.
Yeah, love 30. Backhand basically in the middle of the court.
30.
You would have thought Fritz would have stepped up and absolutely ripped that ball.
Wow, that's 4 points on the bounce since he had that mid-court backhand all the time in the world to rip it. But he didn't take advantage of the situation. Now Djokovic holds 6-5. Willie is a massage therapist on the left. Ronnie Ivanisevic on the right. His agent Eduardo front and center.
Taylor definitely let him off the hook there a little bit. It's like Robbie Koenig snagging a full-size rainbow trout and then just somehow let him get away.
It's the worst feeling, isn't it?
You never let that happen, do you? You always bring it home.
Time.
Taylor Fritz has had quite a adventurous opening set. Down a break early on. Recouped it in the 9th game. He's had to deal with some running repairs to his laces. Serving to stay in this opening set.
Novak just didn't seem to be reading the ball particularly well. He looked completely out of sorts in his movement to that ball right there.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
Yeah, and even a shot like that, guys, you know, not easy. But we're talking about Novak Djokovic here. How many times have we seen him make that kind of lob? And for me, he just looks frazzled mentally. He was so good in the early stages to get a break ahead.
Wait, please.
Be a good test for Fritz, though, isn't it? It's one thing hanging with a world #1, but another thing getting the job done. Never beaten a top 5 player.
Well-structured point from Fritz. He had the forehand lined up. It was a good position. We saw him make that early in the set, but now with a little bit extra pressure, a little bit extra tension, tough to execute. There again, the footwork, contact point, just a little off. Not used to seeing that from Djokovic. Normally the contact point is so clean off both sides. So consistent with where he makes contact with the ball.
Exactly.
Again, his movement to that ball was really strange for what we're used to seeing from Novak Djokovic. Barely took a step towards that ball.
Check this out, folks.
You just don't see this. Very strange, very strange.
That'll be very encouraging for the American. Tiebreak time.
Even that short forehand, he was a little jammed as he came to that ball, a little bit off in his position, but great hands as he came to the last one.
Yeah, it wasn't the best of
See his elbow and the follow through there? He was so tucked in and tight on that ball.
Going to be going down early to Djokovic in a tiebreaker. Remember, 2018 and 2019, Fritz had a phenomenal record in tiebreakers. winning close to 70% of them.
Disappointing couple of points there from Taylor Fritz.
3-0. Djokovic.
Good start.
Just look into his box again there, guys. He's still not happy, Djokovic, but he's doing what's required here, putting the ball on the island deep enough, drawing the errors.
And the longer these rallies go on, the more they favour him. Really has worked the full dimensions of the court in this tiebreaker.
Djokovic.
Yeah, happy or not happy, he's at 5-love in the tiebreak. Total control at this point. Finding the range on the forehand that time.
6-0. Djokovic.
This is the ability of the really great players. Just to hit the, flip the switch, just change gears and find something deep within them. Novak with the maximum amount of set points here. Oh, that is delicious.
Get out your protractor. Figure that angle out.
Yes.
6-1.
Shots like this should be worth a bonus point. It's 5 set points for Novak.
Let's first.
A one-sided tiebreaker that has been conducted by Djokovic. He had Fritz dancing to his tune there, but it was a tough set nonetheless. He wins it in the breaker, 7-1.
Second set.
Plenty to cheer down under. And they'll be relieved, will the Serbian fans. So their main man is a set to the good. Set number 2.
Taylor's done well to stay in that point with those first couple volleys.
Love 15.
Novak in the end gets the better of it. That one's gotten away from him.
30.
See,
30.
still a sense of irritation and frustration coming out of Djokovic there at the end of that point as he hit that ball into the stands. Not something you see every day from Novak Djokovic.
Well, we saw what happened at the US Open, Brad, when he
30.
let his frustrations get the better of him.
Yeah, what happens if he hits that ball into the crowd and it hits somebody in the throat?
I don't know the answer to that one. I do know it's break point.
Taylor's helped him out here a little bit in this game with a couple of errant ground strokes. Forehand's flown on him a little bit. With the down the line backhand, down the line forehand.
First
combination.
Yes, getting all the support that he can possibly get.
Isn't it amazing, these top players, guys? Just the recognition for, you know, the flow of a match, the momentum, knowing that after that first set tie break, you know, their opponent potentially vulnerable to start the second. It wasn't necessarily anything special from Djokovic, but he just kept his level there and almost allowed Fritz to have that dip. You know, these top guys, Federer, Nadal, Djokovic, my good friend Andy Murray, one of the best I've ever seen at that. Just recognizing the start of the sets can be your best chance at times.
Yeah, I agree 100% with that, Colin. One of the guys that I always felt was one of the best at that was Robbie's idol, Stefan Edberg.
Really?
Would always come out and push his foot on the gas first game of the second set, looking to try and get an early break.
It's just that natural lull, isn't it? You know, you've just played a tie break, you sit down, you exhale one way or another, having won it or lost it, the crowd maybe, you know, just relax a little bit. You've got to keep the intensity.
And then consolidating behind it. If you can close this out right here.
Brad, I didn't see too much of Djokovic versus Tiafoe, but
Djokovic
some of
leads 2 games to
the
1.
reports I got was that I felt like he was pushing his forehand. He wasn't accelerating, and I'm wondering if that's just a little bit of a hangover. Initially, he got out to a lead, but once there was a bit of pressure, the decelerating on the forehand almost cost him the set, this opening set here.
It's interesting. I was thinking earlier how it's, you know, from match to match, every match is a different challenge. We saw him in the first night. I was here, called the match the first night with Jeremy Chardet, who's not a bad player at all. And Novak was godlike as a tennis player that night. He could not miss a ball. And we were all talking him up about how great he was looking and who was going to be able to give him any trouble based on that situation. But, you know, every match offers different challenges. Every opponent offers different challenges. And as well, sometimes those challenges become self-inflicted.
13-15.
True. That's much better racket head speed here, ripping up the back.
Full commitment on that swing. Being up a set now, an early break, frees him up. Gone to that play a couple times, and Taylor Fritz has had the response. Reacted well, moving forward to the short ball.
14-13.
Lovely offside backhand there from Taylor Fritz.
Yeah, he's up and running here in set number 2. Still down a break though. Well, a bit of trivia for the evening, Brad, for you, just to keep you on your toes. Who was the last American to beat Novak Djokovic? I'll give you a clue. It was in the lawns of the All England Club.
You're always making this tough on me. Does Kevin Anderson count? He's got an American passport now.
No, it's not the answer I was looking for.
No, I'm joking.
But I like the way you're thinking.
Time.
Sam Querrey.
Very good. Well played. That's why we pay him the big bucks, folks.
The Robbie Koenig trivia questions throw me for a loop most of the time.
You were right on it there. Someone who hasn't been right on it this evening is Novak. He's been frustrated.
Blazer ready.
Forehand's been misfiring a little bit, as has the serve. Yet, as all great players do, he's found a way to be in a winning position thus far, setting a break.
Let's.
I think one of the things that the top players do is that the bottom level of their game is still good enough to beat so many of the players out here on the tour. I think young players sometimes, they're always concerned about improving their top end. You improve the bottom end generally by being mentally a little bit tougher to battle through those tough times. If you can bring the bottom end of your game closer to the top end of your game, you don't have to move the top end that much. You're going to win more matches.
I like it.
Let's second service. Fifteen all.
One's just picked up a bit. You can see Djokovic's shirt flapping in the wind. Cue Colin.
Yeah, it really has, Robbie. He's just slightly losing the toss, perhaps a little too far in front, the wind just catching it. But yeah, there's a pretty stiff breeze down the court now. Definite adjustments to be made.
Colin, just to be clear, when you say down the court, do you mean the wind is at Djokovic's back?
Absolutely, Robbie. From Djokovic's end down towards Fritz. So it's blowing from behind Novak.
Yep.
That's the typical situation here at Rod Laver Arena, as the wind comes in through the roof and comes down and pushes down from that end. It's been historically like that ever since they put the roof on.
Of shots, gripping it and ripping it.
Juice. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please try to remain quiet, especially between first and second serve. Thank you.
Colin, how much of a distraction was that down there?
Advantage, Djokovic.
Yeah, there's a fair bit of chatter going on. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt on that one, Brad. It's pretty constant. It's getting to him, as you can obviously see. I tell you what, how's his ability after all that to go big out wide on the second serve?
Yeah, exactly.
It's amazing.
He's getting frustrated with the ball, kids. He's frustrated with pretty much everything right now.
Please
somehow still finds the ability to play at an incredibly high level.
That's the tennis for me, from Taylor Fritz's point of view. He's just got to go after Djokovic. The risk is you overplay, but for me, he's got to go for it. He's got to keep flattening the ball out, take the game to him, try and, you know, boss that baseline, force the Serbian back. That was a great point there.
He's got to keep targeting that forehand as well. Forehand still. Novak's taking the crowd on now.
Advantage, Djokovic.
Oh, this is getting spicy.
Djokovic leads by 3 games to 1.
He will take them all on.
Wow, guys, this is intense down here. I mean, talk about an overreaction, though. I mean, it's a set 2-1 break-up juice. That was just pure Djokovic versus crowd, as you said, Robbie.
See how Taylor Fritz responds to this right now.
Please, players are ready. Thank you. Thank you.
It's a great comeback. But for me, I think it's the kind of reaction that Djokovic needed to have just to get the frustrations out of him. I think he's been taking a lot of body blows from the crowd. I think he wanted to give it right back.
I'm just going to say, I think it's a very fair point, but he's also given at least half of the crowd here who were trying to unsettle him the green light to just full-on root against him. This is going to be fireworks down here.
Taylor Fritz has to be careful here that he doesn't let him get too far away from him. So much stuff going on. Great job of spreading the court there.
15,
backhand.
14.
So effective, short, breaking the sideline.
Chance to go up a double break, and you would think that would pretty much put the second set out of the reach of the American. It's one break point snuffed out.
Taylor Fritz stepped up and took a rip at that one, Colin, just as you wished he would.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, just throwing the kitchen sink at it there. It's an absolute bomb of a forehand cross court. It's that kind of inspired tennis. It's going to be that kind of performance if he's going to cause the upset. He's got to go outside the comfort zone and red line here. But he's got the weapons. And that's the one thing I would add. You know, some people may want to do that against Djokovic, but they just physically can't. Fritz has got, you know, the power at his disposal, the serve, the forehand. He can crack the backhand as well. He's got to go after it.
It could be a very important hold in the context of this match for Taylor Fritz. He stays within touching distance, but he's still down a break. He'll take them all on. You don't own the keys to the rankings penthouse as long as he's had them, unless you're able to deal with everything in this sport.
Time.
If you're joining us for the first time, welcome. You've missed a lot. It's all been happening here. The crowd has been very vocal since the start of this match, and just of late, it's been a contest between them and Novak. Novak giving them big fist pumps. Been very noisy when he's been serving.
Novak's been playing this match against Taylor Fritz, the crowd, himself, his own box.
It's one of those hard hat days. As Brad and Colin was saying, the top guys, their base level of play is so hard that even on their off days, they're so difficult to beat. It's careless.
30-15.
When they always hold in their pocket something special. He's Novak Djokovic. So even if you're playing well, the difficulty comes in actually trying to close out the match. There's a difference between playing well, competing well, and actually winning in a match like this.
Guys, I actually think it's a good thing for Djokovic that he's kind of fighting the crowd now. Before that happened, he was having a go at his box, wasn't he? And to be honest, that was distracting him from the match at hand. I think now he's taking on the crowd. The only way he can silence him is by playing well, by trying to win the match. He seems much more dialed in.
Game Djokovic.
I think it's like Robbie said, he just needed to let it all out.
4-2.
I know we've spoken about it before, but hopefully everyone watching has seen The Last Dance about the Chicago Bulls and Michael Jordan. I think Novak just needed to find that little bit of inspiration he needed tonight, and now he's got the bit between his teeth.
Yeah, find an excuse to compete even harder. It's got a, Brad, you alluded to it a little earlier, a New York feel about it here this evening. Rowdy crowd.
Yeah, absolutely. It feels like one of those 1 o'clock in the morning.
And Djokovic going at it with the crowd just throws my mind back to Danny Medvedev when he made the finals 2 years ago. They were going at it. He was taking on the New Yorkers. Didn't matter how many comers there were.
Yeah, he absolutely fed off that energy.
30-15.
Kept telling him, the more you boo me, the more I want to win. I love it. That is absolutely perfect in its conception and perfect in its execution.
He knew exactly what he wanted to do right from the start there with the short ball.
Had a chance in the previous Fritz game to get the break and go up a double break. He's got one more bite now.
Well done. Taylor measured that ball well.
Yes.
I'm not sure what was more impressive, the return of serve or the forehand from Fritz.
Yes, agreed. The fact that he made him play a shot there was pretty amazing.
Unless a player would have missed that, overplayed.
Gone to the well again there, but hasn't been able to get the benefit.
Advantage Fritz.
Yeah, the drop shots have been unusually slack tonight from Djokovic. It is one of his trademark shots, isn't it? Especially the backhand down the line drop shot. Far too much depth on them so far tonight.
Depth and height on that one. Taylor doing a good job moving to his left there to get around that and crack a forehand.
This world, ball striking of the highest quality from both players.
The ball striking and the ball movement.
Just
so much of the court used during this point.
Advantage Fritz.
Forehand just a bit errant again.
Yes.
What a return there from Djokovic. He just punched it. It wasn't even a block. It's like a punch back with purchase right on the baseline. And for me, he really is taking his game to another level right now. Fritz is doing well to raise his game as well, to stay with him.
Again, the stretch return. Just making Taylor Fritz play.
Djokovic.
I think one of the things that's really been impressive is how Novak, despite the fact that the forehand's been a little bit off tonight, just doesn't let it shake him too much. Momentarily here and there, but Taylor hit the line with that backhand cross. Opened the court up. Novak again doing a good job just to put that back in play.
Juice.
Biggest serves this evening. 218 is where he's topped out at.
Now this is Novak Djokovic back to what we often expect. Just relentless, not giving in this game. Unwilling to let the game go. Taylor's going to have to fight his way through this if he's going to get this hold.
Advantage Fritz.
It's not like he served poorly in this game. He's made a lot of meaningful first serves. That's a big hold.
Djokovic leads 4 games to 3.
Fritz camp delighted with their charge. 4-3, second set, first set, Djokovic.
Great job by Taylor Fritz to stay with him and fight through that game. Got to keep it within that one break.
What an intriguing match this has been. Djokovic on the brink of going up a double break on 2 occasions. Fritz has fought back for once, and Djokovic not converting on those break points as often as he would have liked.
It does seem like it's been a bit of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde with Novak tonight. He's back now to a much calmer state where we're used to seeing him a little bit more. Taylor doing a great job of spreading the court out on those couple of shots.
15-all.
initiative. Wonderful off-the-ball movement.
15-13.
Big ball striking to set that point up for that. Colin, as you said earlier, Fritz needing to push himself to play bigger.
Please. Please.
Again, right, and for me, like I say, he's got the weapons. He's just going to have a career night. He's got to throw everything at Djokovic, and if it all comes off, it could be a night he'll never forget.
Yeah, you were saying before that you felt he needed to redline. I don't feel he really needs to redline. Taylor Fritz possesses the power within his game to be able to hurt anybody.
He's got himself 2 break points, guys.
Forcing Novak to come up with some of his best shot making so far.
Taylor can't get down on himself there. No, he's done a good job there, boy. Made Djokovic play a high quality point.
Colin, just me, or did Taylor get a little passive on that point, or was he just off balance? The second backhand especially, he was a little bit late to, but it seemed like the ball before that he had a chance to take a really good swing at.
Yeah, absolutely right, Brad. That's the case in point, isn't it? There's been some big shots in this game, but that's the point that really mattered, the break point. I'd love to have just seen him go after it and play on his terms rather than give Djokovic a chance to dictate. To make any first serves in this game. That's Linda Ronstadt.
Wow. Wow.
Well, that's what you just got to say, too good. Fritz did exactly the right thing, went big on the second serve return. Within one shot, Djokovic turns it around, and then epic finish.
Just clipping the line. That break point at 30-40. A little bit of a missed opportunity for Taylor. Maybe he doesn't win the point, but he's got to stay aggressive. Just played a little bit of a passive point there.
It's towards his fans, getting fired up.
15-9.
was Leonardo da Vinci that suggested simplicity is the ultimate sophistication, and that's what Fritz's serve is for me. It is so simple, yet so good. Everything about it. Technically, is so sound. You mentioned that at the start of this match, Brad. The way he executes his ground strokes.
Speaking of simplicity, Robbie, I think it was Albert Einstein who said, keep things as simple as possible, but not simpler.
Haven't heard that one. I like it. Couple of errant plays there.
14-13.
This is good stuff, guys. I'm liking the philosophical quotes and things. Keep them coming.
Stand and deliver. Ace
Djokovic
number
leads
9.
5 games to 4.
This has been some good rear guard action from the American. You can fire you up, it can drive you crazy at times. When you're always seeking perfection like this guy, those nights when you're struggling can be an emotional roller coaster. Brad, as you look into your crystal ball and Novak comes to serve out the set, is he going to hold?
I'm going to bet on a hold, Rob.
Okay. Serving for a 2-sets-to-love lead.
15-9.
That's a Djokovic special there.
39.
Came with some extra heat on that one. Slider down the tee. He loves to slide the ball to the forehand side on second serves. More so than just about anybody else that I see in the game. Fritz tried to go with a head fake there, Colin.
I'm not sure, Brad, but definitely took his eye off the ball. He got there a good time, just completely mishit it.
It's such a big point in the match here to me. I think he definitely went with the head fake there to try and do something a little cute.
Second serve, Djokovic.
A love hold gives Novak a 2-sets-to-love lead. He wins the second, 6-4. Here we go, set number 3.
15 love. Play-lets.
I think one of the ball kids dropped the ball.
Replay points.
Good spot there by John Blom. I think that was the case. He's just putting his head down. Doesn't want us to see him. Opposite the umpire.
Yeah, he's got rosy cheeks here.
Yeah.
Ball kid just made a move a little early.
A couple of big forehands to start out this game from Fritz. The ball kids here do a phenomenal job.
Love.
Long run here from Taylor, well done. Ball sat up for him.
Fritz. First game, third set.
That's what he's capable of.
Guys, I have to say, so much going on here in Rod Laver Arena tonight. Djokovic outbursts, crowd getting involved. But I've been really impressed with Taylor Fritz's tennis. You know, I've got to give him so much credit. 2 sets to love down. Of course, he's not out of the match yet, but you know, he looks to have done a lot of work physically. We've known he's had weapons for a while, but moving better, looks stronger. Looks like he could go all night in terms of endurance levels. Just interested to hear your guys' thoughts, Brad, especially knowing a bit more about his background. Where do you see, you know, the peak for Taylor Fritz? Where is he headed in his career?
Just let this point play out and I'll give you an answer. I think Taylor's got a lot of untapped potential still. He's a big, strong guy. He possesses weapons. He's moving better and better. That was the part of his game that was really suspect when he first came on tour. He just didn't quite have the strength to move his body around. But if he continues to commit himself to some off-court work, getting stronger, maximizing his capabilities as a mover, and then I think also the area of his game that he can really improve a lot in his volley and transition. I say it in that order because it's always kind of a backwards developmental unlucky developmental process of you have to have the volleys, I think, before you can expect a guy to start transitioning and coming forward a lot. But with the weapons that he has from the back of the court, if he can take advantage when he spreads the court out, hurts guys, and look to come forward and finish more at the net, I think his potential is pretty much unlimited, to be honest.
Players are waiting for you. Thank you. Let's second serve. Please. 15-14.
Big opportunity here. Love to see Taylor try and take control of this point if he can get into it. Stay aggressive.
Please. Thank you.
We saw him get a little bit passive on previous break points.
Gets 2 looks at them.
One erased quickly.
13-14.
Fritz is 1 of 7 break points in the match, but Djokovic has played such good quality points on those BPs.
It's mentally so tough from Djokovic. I've got to be honest, guys. I feel John Blanc could possibly be doing a little bit more here. Djokovic missing the first serve. People clearly shouting out, "Come on, Fritzy, come on, Fritzy." Trying to unsettle Djokovic. Just wonder if the umpire will maybe have a word.
Advantage Djokovic.
So impressive. So impressive right there. Getting through that game, those last couple of points.
1 game on.
Fritz throwing the kitchen sink at him.
Djokovic responding like the best player on the planet. Another rally of rich quality from both guys.
Novak just slipping down in the painted area there. Seen that before in one match. That the Melbourne with the paint there is just a little bit more slick than the blue part of the court.
Still stretching out your adductor hip area. That's ridiculous. And he's laughing because he knows.
30-15.
I think he said he hit that serve so hard. He did. 228. It's the biggest serve of the night from Fritz, and it's come back with interest.
30-all.
Taylor's gone big on that one, but just got away from him a little bit. He's got to be careful here now.
Yeah, always dangerous, isn't it? When they had the break points. It's that balance, isn't it? Going big, when to maybe just rein it in, be a little more solid.
Aggressive.
I mean,
Well done.
there's a lot of pronation going on that serve, isn't there? It's almost like he comes around the side of it.
To me, he's hit a couple of serves down the tee that look like they're almost over-pronated.
What was that?
What was going on there?
Game. Fritz.
He just pointed to his stomach, maybe his side there,
Fritz
guys.
leads 2-1.
Could be time for the trainer.
2-1, third set. Let's take a look at that Fritz serve down the middle. Let's have a look.
To the top of the swing, you see his arm, the racket face turning out to the outside as his forearm pronating through that swing. And it's almost doesn't look as bad there in slow motion to me as it did when I saw it. It's almost over pronating a bit. This doesn't look great with Novak right now.
Yeah, it was when he slipped
Yes, clearly.
on the Melbourne side. He's incredibly flexible. It's never good when a guy's shaking his head like that. There's not a lot you can do. You can't tape it or anything like that. It's probably just a rub.
See here how he just
I think it's going to be off-court treatment by the looks of it, guys.
Maybe that's right on the hip flexor that. Oh, even higher.
seems to be above the hip, but the replay of the slip looked like it wouldn't have been up that high, really.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Djokovic is taking a medical timeout. It will be taken off course.
Well, you can understand why the Serbian fans are happy. Their main man is in a strong position here, but I tell you what, it's taken some serious work to get to it. He's been delivering his very best, but Taylor Fritz has been outstanding. He's been part of the reason why. He's competed very well.
We got an indication there early on that first serve at 155 Ks. We may see a little slowdown in the serves. No slowdown in the forehand, though.
He's used the full length of the court there.
40-15.
Might have had a centimeter or two to work with still. Novak picked up the pace a little bit there on that last serve.
He's not getting anything like full extension on the serve. Definitely in some pain at the moment, Djokovic, grimacing in every ball just about.
Let's Fussell.
What a combination of shots from Fritz.
Yes.
Definitely an added bit of drama here now. The question mark of how much this is bothering Novak, not just on the serve, but moving and
Let's Fussell.
playing off the ground.
Play Let's.
It's unlucky for Fritz. The electronic line calling system is malfunctioning.
It's the first time I've seen that
Ladies and gentlemen, please.
since we've been here.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's Fussell. Djokovic.
That's not bad.
Not quite as much explosion, no doubt, but it's interesting. It reminds me a little bit of last week during ATP Cup. We saw Roberto Bautista Agut playing Berrettini. Clearly had an abdominal injury. And in the second set, never hit a serve over 160 Ks. Berrettini was unable to break it until the very end of the set. He was just sliding the ball in, but he made about 89% first serves.
Wow.
Wow, to your wow. Some serious angle. The ball was breaking.
Is that a curve ball or a breaking ball?
Same difference.
Okay. Wow. This is not looking good for Novak.
We've got a bit of drama here. What's going on?
Yeah, anything wide at the moment. He didn't even run there. He just looks in real trouble.
Well, that serve is only going to go one place. This is
Fritz leads 3-2.
a real concern. Fritz with a 3-2 lead. I don't know if Uli is trying to get his attention. Maybe he's got some secret sauce there in his hand.
I think he's got a massage ball in his hand.
Let's see exactly where he's rubbing here, Brad. It's almost abdominal, right?
It's the obliques, really, on the outside
Yep.
of the part of the abdominals, the outside portion of the abdominals. It's not like normally when you have an issue in relationship specifically to serving, it's more centered, and also on your left side. That's clearly from when he slid out on the Melbourne sign on the paint there. Must have just tweaked it into a weird position. Maybe strained it a little bit, or have to assume that was some kind of an analgesic to give it a little bit of heat, or maybe some Voltaren cream that's a little bit of an anti-inflammatory.
Let's keep an eye on his serving speeds here.
Let's for service.
And then he gave that one a little bit of a pop.
Yeah, that looked better to me. Still not 100%, but definitely better than the previous game.
The last game, the first three serves were 155, 163, 161. And then you got a couple in the 170s. These two first ones here, both in the 180s.
Wow, anything on that forehand side.
Absolutely.
30-15.
Taylor's got to make sure he picks up on that. We thought he was aware in the last service game as he served everything out to the forehand side, but definitely looks like he's extremely hampered moving to his right.
Just shake your head.
I just was.
It's unbelievable. Fearless tennis.
Djokovic.
Ivanisevic looking concerned.
Ready for play, thank you. Ready for play.
Fritz definitely targeting the forehand side on the serve. He hasn't hit a serve anywhere but the forehand side these last two games.
Let's for serve.
much drama this evening. The crowd has been heavily engaged in this match. The broken shoelaces from the American.
Goodness gracious, Taylor.
30-all.
He's just in danger of letting his own intensity drop here. He's got to stay on it. Last thing you want to do is make errors at this moment.
Yeah, those last 2 points, just freebies. There you go.
That's a nice time to change it up.
30.
Saw Novak there moving to the forehand really early.
Controlled that one, 2-12.
Fritz.
Taylor Fritz.
Fritz
4-3 in this third set. Ailing Novak. I mean, have a look at this last point of the last game. Just looking for it, just very little intensity.
That's the Brad Stein forehand return. And you could definitely see in his face, he looks a little uncomfortable there.
In my experience with stomach pulls or oblique pulls is that they don't heal overnight, do they?
No, not at all.
Time.
Depends on the level, obviously.
Most Serbian fans got to be a little worried. Novak Djokovic with what seems to be an oblique strain. Anything out wide to the forehand, he can't swing at it. Certainly can't stretch. If he does swing.
Players are ready. Waiting for you now. Thank you.
It's a half-hearted effort. Look at the serve speeds. They started to drop as well. Pre-injury timeout. Posted. Down 11 Ks an hour. It's a first serve for a second.
It's really hard to gauge where he's at physically, isn't it, Djokovic? The serve seems okay now, 190 kilometers an hour. Forehand still looks limited, but he went wide on one ball there, made a half-decent shot. Is he improving? It's hard to say at the moment.
Colin, I have to say I totally agree with you. Two things. One, you said earlier that I still think John Bloom could be doing a little bit better job with the crowd.
As a courtesy to both these players,
on that last
do
point.
not call out between the first and second serve.
That's been long overdue in my opinion.
Yeah, I totally agree. And secondly, it's very hard to gauge where Novak's at. The point 2 points ago, he looked very uncomfortable. He looked very uncomfortable on two forehands that were basically in the middle of the court. Then he runs wide to a forehand and does his typical sliding, I mean, a very dynamic move, really, from that position. And you're like, okay, how can you do that if you can't even stand and just hit a forehand? Doesn't seem to make much sense.
I couldn't agree more, Brad. Just to clarify, no issue whatsoever with the crowd pulling for one player or the other, their favourite, but they've got to do it in a respectful manner. Yeah, this is a huge moment for Djokovic now.
He's facing a break point. He's missed it. Fritz breaks.
Fritz leads 5-3.
And how crucial could that breaker serve prove to be in the context of this match? We've got an ailing Novak. The right oblique is killing him.
Thank you.
Serving for the third set.
Great movement from Taylor Fritz there. And then the control with the racket once he gets to the ball.
Serve has been outstanding this evening, even in the sets that he lost. Is that a wry smile on Taylor's girlfriend's face? Why not? He's got 3 set points. Fritz gets the third. And this one is far from done. He wins it 6-3. Game on.
Fourth set.
He's had an oblique problem at the start of the third. And he's been struggling to anything wild on the forehand.
Thank you.
And he's going to soldier on here. He's going to make Taylor Fritz beat him. Fritz has had issues of his own. Sliding on the hard courts, he's torn his laces, the shoes were loose, he's had to do a DIY job. Oh, I think it's the left lace. take a very brave man to forecast what they think is going to happen in the next 45 minutes.
Please.
Colin's the bravest man I know.
Ladies and gentlemen, please, I shouldn't have to keep saying this. Please do not make noise when the players are about to serve. Thank you.
Can be difficult at times also.
He didn't
your
get down
opponent
to
is
that
injured.
backhand at all.
Got to make sure that you continue to play your game.
I've got to be honest, guys, the way Djokovic is looking physically, if Fritz can keep his focus, keep his intensity, as Brad says, keep playing his game, it really feels like this is there for him, this match.
He has returned very well throughout the course of this contest.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, Colin. It's looking like this is Taylor Fritz's match to win or lose at this point. If he can just maintain his focus, execute at a high level.
How about that?
Goran looks confounded right there. Not sure how to react.
Looked a little better.
Much more accelerated through that swing.
And that is Djokovic.
And no grimace. Oh, there it comes.
Juice.
It's a tough watch.
And that is Djokovic.
The serve doesn't seem to be the primary issue anymore, though. It's the movement out to his right and setting up to hit the forehand that seems to be affecting him the most.
Backhand will work.
First game, 4 sets.
Some liquid fortification for Djokovic.
And the fact that he asked for those would suggest that he's planning on being out here for a while longer.
Yeah, as much as true.
Large percentage of the crowd starting to filter out a little bit now.
just after 11:15 local time.
Once again, we're waiting for you to be quiet. Thank you. Please.
He got away with one there, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Just covered the net. I don't know what you guys think, but for me, when you've got a wounded opponent, you better just keep attacking the space, just keep moving them.
Novak's just smoothing that forehand through the court now. He's not really accelerating on it heavily, but like that one, for example, it actually got some good pace on the ball just with a very smooth swing.
30-15.
Yeah, you go from a nice smooth strike to a complete miss-hit on the return of serve. I mean, it is all happening. It's just a security guard. Fritz's ace tally is up to 17. And guess how many double faults he's got to complement that?
0.
Impressive stuff.
Heck of an effort.
That's another comfortable hold for Taylor. Just keeps tightening the screw on Novak. There's so many thoughts swirling around the American's head. After every point, he's looking across the court to see how Djokovic is reacting.
I think there'd be a benefit to him to kind of disengage from that and just focus on himself.
How easy is it to do that, Brad?
It's not easy. It's obviously not easy. There's so much going on the court right now, but
And your curiosity kills you as well, doesn't it?
100%. But so important for him to just try and stay within himself and play the best tennis that he can. Each ball that comes to his side of the court.
It's okay, you can go down, timeout, as you guys like in America, and you can give just 1 or 2 sentences of advice to Taylor. He's clearly hitting the ball well, but to get him in the right mental frame, what do you tell him?
I would tell him to really try and maintain his focus, play his game, spread the court out, recognize that the forehand side is the side that's weaker, but if you can spread the court, bring the ball to the backhand and ball coming back to the forehand, that just puts that much more stress on Novak. You've got to stay within yourself a little bit. You start getting too involved with everything else that's going on out here, you lose your own focus.
Is there temptation as well just to give him a bit of mental advice? Don't look down the other end. Give him perhaps an option of a different routine, just to maybe turn his back. And
yeah, turn away a little bit. One of the things that we have now with the COVID rules is that, you know, your towel is off to the side of the court. Otherwise, he could go back to the back of the court a little bit more often, like he used to go to the towel. Novak again coming up with a big serve.
I mean, it's crazy. He hit a serve at 195, but he can barely hit a forehand. You would think it's very similar sort of muscles that are involved. Remember, it's the oblique area that looks... It's causing him all the problems.
The crowd has been rough.
Been in his grill from early on in this match.
30-40.
We got another knockdown off that forehand.
He just can't commit to the shot because he knows it's going to hurt, so he just pulls off of it at the last minute. And the break point for Fritz.
Well, I'm with you, Robbie. It's quite hard to understand how the serve that was initially the problem now seems to be fine, but the only thing I can think is it's predominantly on the left side, isn't it? The extension and the snap on the serve, whereas the forehand, he's got to fire that right hip, the whole right side. Maybe that's what's bothering him.
Yeah, I think I agree with you, Colin. I think normally when you have an abdominal issue on serving, like a typical abdominal issue, it would be kind of center left. But this is more on his right side, and I think that creating the rotation and the torque for hitting a forehand is where he's feeling it potentially.
And you mentioned it, Brad, this crowd has been rough. There's definitely a handful of people in here tonight that are full-on disrespecting Novak Djokovic. Unfortunately, it's been a difficult night for him.
He hasn't played what you would really call a second serve now for a while either. You have to imagine that may come back to bite him at some point as well.
Fritz gets the early break.
Fritz leads 2-1.
2-1 in the fourth. American playing catch-up.
The drama continues to build. Novak hasn't really been close to a break here in the last few games since this issue occurred. We're basically going to lose the rest of the crowd here within the next 5 minutes or so. We're at least supposed to.
Yep.
A lot of people still up and milling around, filtering out, but a lot of people looking like they're not really ready to go.
Time.
Novak Djokovic in a whirl of hurt. Yeah, you might look at the scoreboard and think, oh, what are you talking about? I'm talking physically. There's a problem with the right oblique. He barely hit a forehand. Anything out to that wing. He's lucky if he can put one good strike on it. Taylor Fritz making the most of the situation. Break to the good in the fourth. That say 85% of his serves have been directed to that wing. He's mixed it up just enough to keep Djokovic honest.
30 love.
There's the honest one.
I can't remember the last time Fritz had to hit a second serve.
Taylor doing a pretty good job here, mixing it up. Interesting there, he went hard to the body. Just hard to see how
Fritz.
Novak's going to do much damage here. Taylor Fritz is too quality a player to
3-1.
succumb to this kind of a situation.
Yeah, there's been no racket head deceleration.
No.
He's continued to rip the groundies, go off the return of serves. He has not been fussed at all by the elements on the other side of the court.
Yeah, he's done a great job, Fritz, hasn't he? So often a wounded animal is a dangerous animal, and he's just kept his intensity, hasn't he, Fritz, especially on serve, serving really well, good percentage, very accurate. Great job so far this set.
I mean, it's all happening.
Fabrice Santoro, is it?
Yeah. Well, it was the other hand at the top, so that would be more Byron Black.
Thank you. $30-15. Please.
Can you believe it?
$30-all.
The small crowd that's still here is definitely still giving Novak the business. No sympathy whatsoever for the situation that he's in. That first drop shot that he missed, they applauded as loud as if Taylor had hit a clean winner.
Djokovic. He soldiers on.
Fritz leads by 3-2.
It's Taylor who's got the break in the fourth. 3-2. So Taylor Fritz and Novak Djokovic
Fritz to serve.
resume this battle. 3-2 in the fourth. American upper break.
Well done. Well done, Taylor.
Well, how's that point after the break we had? Incredible.
The crowd went wild.
eerie down here now, guys. All you can really hear when there's quiet is the crowd circling, sorry, the birds circling overhead. Djokovic just moving a feather there, it looks like, and yes, you can hear a stone drop now.
Let's person.
Yeah, I can tell you from having been in this situation a number of times last year, US Open, Paris, the rest of the ATP events that were held through the end of the year. It's just such a different feeling playing without spectators in the crowd, and the atmosphere on the court feels a little bit stale at times. It's hard to create any, as the coach or the box even, it's hard to create much atmosphere.
Fritz leads 4 games to 2.
I guess this is where the inner drive's got to come. The ability just to focus on the task at hand. And again, we've got to give Fritz huge props for the way he's carried himself throughout not only the good times now, but the tough times earlier on in this match. Having all those break points, not being able to convert because the guy on the other side, this man, played some stellar break points. Could so easily have got down on himself, felt sorry. Anything but. The average second serve speed for Djokovic pre his injury was 158 k's an hour. It's up to 183 now.
He's basically just been going for 2 first serves.
He's made it.
The crowd would be going crazy on that shot. That was a
15.
great effort on Taylor's part to get around that ball and still find the court. Novak has gone to that play a lot. Taylor's been prepared for it. He circles this ball. It was well in.
40-15.
It's the first serve. Double digits in the ace department for Novak.
Game Djokovic. Fritz leads 4 games to 3.
And he holds and reduces the arrears. Fritz a break to the good in the 4th. Some more running repairs on that left shoe.
The inside of the shoe this time instead of the laces. That's the same one that he had the issue with earlier, though. Surprised he doesn't have just a second pair of shoes in his bag or in his locker that he could send for. Novak doing it. Novak doing a few trunk rotations coming up out of that changeover. Something that just testing that area out. Looks like it's a little bit looser, maybe. Novak clearly dictating early on in that point. Seemed like much firmer, much more aggressive ball striking from him.
Out. 30 left.
Yeah, Brad, you mentioned it, but Djokovic at the change of ends was actually stretching out that oblique. First time I've seen him do that, so perhaps just the situation improving slightly if he's able to stretch it out a bit.
Love.
He's retired 13 times in his career as Djokovic. 6 of those have been at a major.
We all remember early on he had some issues that led to those.
And once here, actually.
40-15.
Back in 2009. That was the quarterfinal against Andy Roddick.
Game, Fritz.
Big props to Taylor Fritz,
leads 5 games to 3.
Continues to just chip away. This 4th set is well within grasp now. Novak serving to stay in it.
Love 15. Fifteen all.
Adesso quello che fate non è necessario.
30-15.
Novak talking to himself a little bit down there. With everyone gone, you can clearly hear.
Out. 40-15. Game, Djokovic.
Djokovic will force Fritz to step up to the line and try and even this match up at 2 sets apiece.
Yeah, so my fabric on it came off. So I just need to do that. Yeah, it'll help a lot. I did it before the match. Especially like when it's really like
Taylor Fritz called for a bit of super glue, it looks like. Look at the heel of that. Taylor, it's time for
some new orthotics.
Some new insoles. This thing is falling apart.
It's all happening.
What more can we get here?
Props to Luke, the tournament physio. He's got it all there in his bag.
15 love.
Big.
Hasn't flinched in the big moments. You might look at the break points won for Fritz and see 3 of 12, but the vast majority of those, it was great play from Djokovic. Wasn't Fritz letting himself down, really.
(30-15). (40-15).
Serving extremely well through this game. Put himself in a position to push this to a 5th deciding set.
2 set points. And we will indeed be going to a 5th.
Fritz. 6 games to 4.
Fritz wins the 4th. 6 games to 4. And an eerie silence has descended here on Rod Laver Arena. Is it the last rites for Djokovic? Here we go. 5th set about to get underway. Just taking a look at Taylor Fritz's comebacks from 2 sets to love down. That's never happened. Can you imagine if his first one will be against the world #1?
Djokovic definitely trying to raise his intensity here. He's up for the fight in this 5th set, but Fritz is picking up where he left off. He's right on it again.
He's measured that one
30-15.
absolutely perfectly.
You just have to feel that if he continues to play at the same level with the same movement and the pain level that he's had, that if Fritz can just maintain the level that he's had these last couple sets, it's going to give him all kinds of trouble.
I guess the big difference now is, you know, victory is there. How does he respond when the finish line starts to approach, Brad?
100%. He's got an end in sight right now that wasn't there 2 sets ago. The question is, can he lift his game and push himself through this final set against an opponent that's as quality of an opponent as Taylor Fritz is?
Even just maintain the tennis that he's been playing for the last 2 sets, you would think is enough. How much will the reputation of Djokovic affect him? It's the kind of good fortune you need. Lady Luck wearing red, white and blue. It's with stars.
Not sure exactly what he's complaining about there. In my opinion, that was a phenomenally well-played point by Taylor Fritz.
And if it has come off a little bit of the frame, there's nothing in the rule book that says you can't use it.
Novak definitely stepped up in that point, hitting the ball with more pace.
Back at deuce. That's the best drop shot he's hit so far in this entire match.
Advantage, Djokovic.
He's definitely gone to that play a lot.
Well, that is something we have not seen in the last hour and 15 minutes. Novak Djokovic digging deep.
Movement, racket head acceleration, everything looked much better in that game. See him moving forward here, accelerating through that ball. Looking much more like the Novak Djokovic we're used to seeing.
You can see that he's not uncoiling to his max.
A little bit of an advantage here, serving in front.
Oh, that is world class. That is not an easy shot.
Novak pulling up short as he was running out to that ball.
15.
Dropped his racket. See his face here, the pain evident.
It's 30 love.
Hasn't really been able to make a dent in the Taylor Fritz service games.
Love.
Hasn't been losing points on serve.
No.
Just cruising through service game after service game.
Game Fritz.
Great depth from Taylor there.
1 game all.
I mean, if there's one thing that's impressed me most about Fritz, as good as the serving's been, it's his ability to not get tight so far. He has just kept on going for his shots as we tick past midnight. And hopefully all the patrons that were inside the Rod Laver Arena have made it home safely.
Wow.
15
well done by Novak there. Taylor hit a pretty good return here. Novak there, very short follow through on that ball.
30 love.
Just remember, in line with the Victorian government restrictions, all Albernians had to be home just before midnight tonight.
It's 40 love.
Now, Tennis Australia hopeful of crowds next week. Of course, are totally reliant on the authorities and whether this works or not in containing the virus. Had an outbreak They're just being very precautionary. So that's the latest update.
Djokovic leads by 2 games to 1.
And here in the 5th, that's Djokovic, who leads 2-1.
Colin, have you fallen asleep down there, or are you just worried about the death stare from Novak coming at you again?
Yeah, that's it, Brad. It's incredibly quiet down here. I'm trying to turn away from the court and speak to you guys, so excuse me if I'm not jumping in too much now that we don't have a crowd, but yeah, noticeable for me. Djokovic looks like he's really trying to shorten the point. He's hitting big on that return game from Fritz, who I have to say is serving incredibly well. Djokovic was just trying to go big on returns and kind of win or lose the point quickly. It's still not 100%, but we've seen him come back from situations before where he's physically not 100%, haven't we? So Fritz has just got to stay on it, and it really wouldn't be surprised if, or wouldn't surprise me if Djokovic still comes through this one.
Time.
Oh, this match is so finely balanced.
Novak coming out on a jog there that time to come back and return, showing a little bit more energy, a little bit more spunk here. As Colin said there, he's actually been serving better than he was even in the first 2 sets when he was playing without the injury.
Come on, Colin, I'm going to put you on the spot. You've got to pick a winner right now for this one. We've seen enough. Who are you going with?
I've got to say it quietly, but I'm still picking Novak Djokovic.
Oh, he's
made it. He's made it. Painted both lines, it looked like there.
You can't put me in the spot without giving me your predictions, guys. Come on.
Brad's just taking off his Stetson.
I was just thinking how much I love Colin down there in the whisperer position, having to actually whisper.
Brad, come on. How do you think this one's going to unfold?
I think Taylor's going to pull this out. I think he's going to find a way to get a break, and Novak just hasn't been very efficient in the return games since he had the injury.
Oh, how about that?
Unless he starts doing that, that's a
spank you very much forehand.
Yeah, that's also what Colin mentioned earlier. You know, one of the most dangerous animals is an injured animal. He's just going to start pulling the trigger here and there on some balls like that.
Game Fritz.
Magnificent from Fritz.
2 games all.
It's not an easy shot from below the heart of the net to create that sort of angle and pace.
Brad, I don't know about you, but still waiting for Robbie's prediction here.
Yeah, he's up here.
Big fence there.
He's been taking some notes. He's trying to decide. He's got the stats down. Still coming huge on that second serve.
Yeah.
181.
I'm leaning towards it. Red, white, and blue flag, Colin.
Isn't there red, white, and blue in the Serbian flag?
Brad, maybe pass him a cushion. Get comfy on that fence, huh? I mean, these last few games, Novak has served as well as I've ever seen him serve, really.
Too true.
30-15.
Jinxed him. But the first serve, he's been so efficient and effective And then he's coming really aggressively with the second serve.
That time he made sure with a volley.
He's found the range better with that drop shot.
And that's his favorite shot to hit, that quadrant of the court. Backhand dropper down the line. On a clay court, it's magnificent. This is that serve. It's about as close to 200 as I've seen in a long time from Djokovic. 199. 3-2 in the fifth. Okay. Suddenly there's signs of life here.
Colin, stare him down. Stare him right back if he stares you down next time he overhears you giving us a little input. You got to do your job too.
Yeah, and then I'll tell him Brad Stein sent me.
He's got my number.
I just want you boys to know, I'm using a word to describe my decision-making, Colin. It's sagacious as to who is going to win this match.
Colin, how's your English literature?
I guess that means the opposite of brave.
And I said to the boys in the change of ends there regarding my prediction for this one, I'm going with the word sagacious. Showing keen, go for it, Brett. Read it out.
Having or showing keen mental discernment and good judgment. Or in one word, well done, Taylor.
Yes, very well done.
As I would often describe Robbie in one word, shrewd.
Yes.
I liked Colin's description, fence sitter.
Tell you what, if you're a Djokovic fan, there's definitely signs of life here. You
30-15.
probably be sitting a bit more forward in your chair back at home, thinking, hang on. Given that he's serving first in this set, if he can get the break here and a hold suddenly.
It looks like a big lead.
Yep.
That last move to the forehand, also that wide forehand, very dynamic movement. Wow. Taylor's let the door open for him now.
30-14.
Be prepared. If he gets a ball and has his feet set underneath him, I think he's going to take a rip at a ball.
Break point. He's made it.
Oh my goodness.
Game.
Off the forehand side. Djokovic licks the line.
Digging so deep on that point. We've seen him, he's been improving and improving and improving as we've been going along here. We saw signs of it in the first few points of this game. As soon as he got to that break point, you knew he wasn't going to give in on anything there. Man, that's impressive.
Wow. Djokovic strikes first in the fifth.
15 left.
It's amazing, guys, isn't it? The way Djokovic is just willing himself towards the finish line here, fighting through the pain barrier.
It's 3 forehand winners in a row. All hands to the pump now.
$30-15.
Taylor just misfiring a tad bit here now. He hadn't really had a position where he felt much pressure for those last couple sets. He was up early. We felt it in that point as soon as that break point happened, even the 30-all point before.
He's got him. He has got him.
Game, Djokovic.
And the finish line is well within sight for Djokovic now. He's just a game away at 5-2 in the 5th. Just when you boys were doubting me with my Djokovic pick, eh?
Oh, come on now, Robbie, that's embarrassing. You've got to put your neck on the line when it was all there to be won. Still not over yet.
I tried to make it 1-1 on the picks, Colin. I was thinking Djokovic all along.
A lot more respect for someone that gets it wrong rather than someone that doesn't predict.
But hasn't it just been so fascinating? I don't think I've ever commentated on a match like this in my entire career.
It's been a wild night from start to finish. When you were recapping everything that's happened through this match earlier, we've got a novel here.
Got Taylor Fritz now with some work to do. There is very little wriggle room for the American. Novak Djokovic with the crucial break in the 6th game of the set.
Novak's going to light this game up. He's not going to extend the points, just like you saw right there. I think he's going to just try and finish the points, take some risk, not throw it away, but crazy the psychological aspects of our game.
Got to be qualified from the neck up, don't you?
15-30.
You want to beat the best. You've got to be so strong mentally. Like so Federer, Nadal and Djokovic have taken the sport in that department to a different level.
Just missed that.
30.
Goran liking the aggression.
14-13.
Good rear guard action from Fritz. He's got to force Novak to serve it out.
Novak looking like the Novak of earlier in the first 2 sets. Relentless. Not giving away anything right now.
How has he got that back? How?
Advantage.
And a little
Djokovic.
stab return. We saw him earlier, and barely able to take a step towards returns like that.
After 3 hours and 24 minutes, Djokovic has somehow arrived at match point.
Taylor's box pushing him on.
Advantage Fritz.
Great stuff, Taylor Fritz. "24 aces. Oh, what an injection of pace.
I mean, Novak's looking 90%, 95%. His move to that first, to the return. 5 games ago, 6 games ago, 7 games ago, he wasn't even making a move to his right on that ball. Again, no hesitation out to the right there.
Advantage Djokovic.
Match point number 2. His will to win remains undiluted. He is an 8-time champion. Today, he dug deeper than he's ever had to dig before. And Djokovic wins in 5. He takes the scenic route. 6-2 in the 5th. That says it all. A match of high drama. So many twists and turns, so many plot points, and it's going to be a tough one for Taylor Fritz because he played his part. But he comes off second best. A match that we will remember for many reasons. It'll be a bitter pill for Taylor Fritz to swallow. What a Herculean effort that was from Novak. Early stages of that 5th set, I thought he was done and dusted. But these guys play by a different set of rules.